Time is running out for teams to stake their claim for a position in the Open Division playoffs. What teams will make a go at the chance to challenge an HGC team in the Crucible? I am Bahamut, the guide that covers the gamut. Let's review Cup 6 in Part 2 of the Open Divisions of Europe and North America and narrow in on the teams we'll be likely seeing soon. Holy Bananas! That's the new name for Time to Shine, not just something to shout loudly. Holy Bananas reclaimed a top spot but would have to battle the behemoth that is ePunk's Black for first place. Newcomers to the top 4, Rusty Frenchies seem to have found a route to success and managed to claim 3rd place overall this week. Team Go finishes off the top 4 for Europe this week and fell to Rusty Frenchies 2-0 for 4th place. Let's go over the grand finals, ePunk's Black versus Holy Bananas. In Battlefield of Eternity, ePunk's Black opted for a heavily offensive composition while Holy Bananas was focused on self-sustain. Holy Bananas stood toe-to-toe with ePunk's Black, only falling behind in experience but managing to stay equal or ahead on takedowns. Each Immortal phase was tactically played around and each team fight pushing their macro awareness and teamfighting capabilities. Though, despite Holy Bananas claiming the last Immortal of the game, ePunk's Black did not want the game to go to the post-16 phase and sent Holy Bananas on their way back to the Hall of Storms. Exploring the Tomb of the Spider Queen, our teams were matching each other step for step through the early game and well into the mid-game. 10 minutes in, the only significant difference was that Holy Bananas was down 1 fort. Moving into the late game, Holy Bananas was able to take some momentum and build off of it, taking down the remaining forts and constantly applying map pressure to ePunk's Black with camps, the boss, and macro pressure from pushed-in lanes. Eventually, it became too much for ePunk's Black and they were forced to concede the game. Our final game of the series brought the teams back to the eternal conflict between Heaven and Hell on Infernal Shrines. After 2 games of feeling each other out, the teams seemed to settle on their execution. It was a slow crawl for ePunk's Black to gain an advantage in experience and just a few takedowns and slightly better soak accounting for the difference. Holy Bananas resisted the unstoppable force that is ePunk's Black for a considerable amount of time, but a 24-minute call to go in with the Punisher under a keep and a 5v5 did not pan out in their favor, ending their Cup 6 run. ePunk's Black took their 5th cup in an outstanding fashion. Circling the globe to the NA landscape, they slapped a new coat of paint on Wrongworks and created Scythe Esports. After being in the last 5 cups, it'd be hard to believe they wouldn't make it for this one. Necro Dancers also made a return, standing solidly on 3rd place this week. New teams joining the Final 4 are Divination and Psystorm Gaming. This 1 cup alone puts Divination in the thick of possible playoff teams, while Psystorm Gaming will have to come up big next week if they hope to make the playoffs. Game 1 would test Scythe Esports' resolve as Divination came out with a spicy early game with the Lost Vikings. They'd be the first to level 10 and built a significant 2.5 level lead at one point. They sustained that lead up until the bitter end where the late game Zeratul was too much to deal with. As it usually happens on Cursed Hollow, a few late game takedowns mean a boss and nearly an uncontested path to victory. Game 2 had Scythe Esports showing their tendency to fall behind in the early game, but they zeroed out their deficit much earlier this time. The game on Towers of Doom turned into a crazy back and forth for Scythe Esports, narrowly avoiding defeat just to have that demon rear its ugly head again via the boss play for the final shots against their core. Game 3 allowed Scythe Esports to flex their map mastery on Infernal Shrines as they came out with a much closer early game, losing an experience advantage only momentarily before level 10. Divination's team composition had them aiming for shrine control, but the CC and disruption from Scythe Esports would set off a tremendous swing of experience, slingshotting them 3 levels ahead, and murder was all she wrote. With 25-3 takedowns, Scythe Esports takes Cup 6. Congratulations are in order for Scythe Esports and ePunk's Black for their victories this week. A round of applause for all the teams who came out this week, and a spirited best of luck to everyone coming in next week to try and get into the playoffs. Best of luck to everyone. Thank you for watching this week's HeroesHype Weekly Recap. I'm Bahamut, your host, and I'll see you next week for Cup number 7.